If you've ever been told you're too quiet, that you need to come out of your shell, or that you should be more outgoing, this video is for you. For decades, society has celebrated the extrovert, the loud voices, the social butterflies, the people who seem to thrive in crowds and never run out of energy. But what if I told you that science has revealed something fascinating? That introverts aren't just different, they're actually wired for advantages that most people completely overlook. Today, we're diving into the neuroscience of introversion. Why your brain works the way it does, why you need alone time to recharge, and most importantly, why being an introvert might be one of your greatest strengths in a world that won't stop talking. Let's get into it. First, let's talk about what's actually happening inside your brain. Introversion isn't shyness. It's not social anxiety. And it's definitely not something you need to fix. It's a fundamental difference in how your nervous system processes stimulation. Research from Dr. Marty Olson-Laney and others has shown that introverted brains have higher baseline cortical arousal. Translation? Your brain is already buzzing with activity, even when you're sitting quietly. Here's where it gets interesting. Introverts primarily use the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system. Your brain prefers a neurotransmitter called acetylcholine, which is released when you turn inward, think deeply, and focus intensely. Extroverts? They run on dopamine, the reward chemical that fires up when you're out socializing, taking risks, and seeking novelty. Neither system is better. They're just different operating systems. But here's the kicker. Because your brain is already stimulated, adding more stimulation, like a loud party, endless small talk, or open office chaos, pushes you into overstimulation. That's not weakness. That's your nervous system telling you it's hit capacity. Understanding this changes everything. You're not broken. You're not antisocial. Your brain is just wired to process the world more deeply. Now let's destroy the biggest myth about introverts. That you don't like people. Wrong. Introverts don't hate people. You hate shallow interactions. There's a difference. You can spend hours talking with someone about philosophy, psychology, or their deepest fears and feel energized. But 15 minutes of "how's the weather" at a networking event? Absolutely draining. Why? Because introverts crave depth, not breadth. Studies show that introverts have fewer dopamine receptors in their brain's reward center. That means small talk and surface-level socializing literally gives you less of a reward response than it does for extroverts. You're not being difficult. Your brain just isn't getting the payoff. But when you connect on a deeper level, when someone shares their real thoughts, their struggles, their dreams, that lights you up. Because that's meaningful. That's substance. And here's the advantage. While extroverts are maintaining dozens of casual friendships, you're building a small circle of deeply loyal, authentic relationships. Quality over quantity. In a world of shallow connections, that's rare. That's valuable. That's power. So let's talk about your superpowers. First, deep work capability. In a world addicted to distraction, introverts have a natural ability to focus intensely for long periods. You can sit with complex problems, think deeply, and produce high-quality work that requires sustained concentration. Cal Newport, author of Deep Work, found that the most valuable workers in the modern economy are those who can do cognitively demanding tasks without distraction. That's literally your baseline state. While everyone else is checking their phone every 3 minutes, you're in flow state. That's a massive competitive advantage. Second, superior listening and observation. Introverts notice things. You pick up on body language, tone shifts, and what people aren't saying. You process conversations internally before responding, which means when you do speak, it's usually thoughtful and valuable. In leadership, this is gold. Research from Adam Grant at Wharton showed that introverted leaders often outperform extroverted ones, especially when managing proactive teams, because they listen more and don't dominate conversations. Third, strategic thinking. Because you naturally reflect before acting, you're less likely to make impulsive decisions. You consider angles others miss. You think long-term. Some of history's greatest leaders, innovators, and creators were introverts. Abraham Lincoln, Eleanor Roosevelt, Bill Gates, Barack Obama, J.K. Rowling, Rosa Parks. These weren't people who succeeded despite being introverted. They succeeded because of it. Their ability to think deeply, observe carefully, and act deliberately gave them an edge. Okay, so you've got these advantages. But how do you actually use them in a world that rewards the loudest voice in the room? Strategy 1. Protect your energy like it's currency. Because it is. Stop feeling guilty about saying no to social events that drain you. Stop apologizing for needing alone time. Your energy is finite. Spend it on what matters. Block out recovery time after demanding social situations. Schedule alone time like you'd schedule a meeting. Your recharge time isn't selfish, it's essential maintenance. Strategy 2. Prepare for social situations. You're better when you've had time to think, so use that. Before meetings, networking events, or presentations, prepare. Think through what you want to say. Rehearse key points. Extroverts think out loud. You think, then speak. Play to your strength. Strategy 3. Reframe networking. You don't need to work a room, you need 1 or 2 meaningful conversations. Find the other person standing quietly in the corner. Ask deeper questions. Build real connections. Quality conversations beat quantity every time. Strategy 4. Create your ideal work environment. Whether it's noise-canceling headphones, remote work, or blocked calendar time for deep work, design your environment to match your brain. Don't force yourself into an extrovert's workflow and wonder why you're miserable. Strategy 5. Use your writing advantage. Introverts often express themselves better in writing than speaking. Use that. Email, Slack, written proposals. You have time to think and articulate perfectly. Some of the most influential people communicate primarily through writing, and they're often introverts. Here's what I want you to understand. The world doesn't need you to be louder. It needs you to be you. We're drowning in noise, in hot takes, in people talking just to fill silence. What's rare, what's truly powerful, is someone who thinks before they speak, who listens deeply, who creates meaningful work because they can focus intensely. That's you. Your introversion isn't a bug in your personality. It's a feature. It's your operating system. And when you stop trying to reprogram yourself and start leveraging your natural wiring, everything changes. You don't need to become an extrovert to succeed. You need to become an introvert who understands their strengths and uses them strategically. The most powerful people aren't always the loudest. They're the ones who think deeply, observe carefully, and act deliberately. They're the ones who build real relationships instead of collecting contacts. They're the ones who do focused, meaningful work instead of performing busyness. Sound familiar? If this resonated with you, hit that like button. Subscribe for more videos on psychology, neuroscience, and understanding how your brain actually works. And drop a comment. Are you an introvert? What's your biggest challenge in an extroverted world? Remember, your quiet nature isn't a weakness. It's where your power lives. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.